feels good to be back here again on a very beautiful Thursday morning. Welcome to Breakfast Central on News Central. Je m'appelle Johansson, and we are here live to look at some of the biggest stories that's making the news and making the rounds wherever you go to.
And I'm Gbenga, bro. You know, I can't believe it's Thursday. This week has to be one of the fastest weeks on record. Very eventful, some good news, some terrible news. But we're glad to be here, and we're glad to give you the best of news, insightful analysis and discussions. And of course, today is a special day, and you know what is happening in the southern part of Nigeria. I call it South Central part because Nigeria has a way of defining geography. Nigerian political lexicon is the only place where in geography you have South-South. There's nothing like South-South or North-North. Why is there no East-East or West-West? It's South-Central or South-East or South-West.
Or South.
Or South, exactly.
Yeah, Southern Nigeria.
But we got used to the jargon.
I think the South-South was created as a result of... how was that even created at this time?
I don't know, and it just stopped because it doesn't make any geographical sense.
But it's formed, it's made a lexicon.
But we understand in political lexicon.
Exactly. Yes. It's made a political lexicon in terms of even when you're talking politics, you just be like
south.
From the south, so not south, south. Like,
so you understand Bayelsa, River State,
Delta,
Edo State.
You know, south. Okay, it's fine. It's okay. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Welcome to Breakfast Central. We're going to start off first, as usual, with our wake-up conversations. And this morning, we're going to go with the very first story. Now, if you've been following the NUPENG versus Dangote confrontation and news all around town, you would recall that NUPENG has tried every single thing possible to ensure that every driver that's employed by Dangote would actually be under its umbrella. But not just that. A few persons have looked at this to be, one way or the other, looking like it's a personal vendetta towards Dangote. And you recall as well that Dangote did hold a press briefing where, Gbenga, during the press briefing, one thing that got me chuckling was when he said, what are those guys? What's their name again?
Wow.
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, sorry, who are they again? What's their name again? And he said, NUPENG. He said, you see, I don't even know their name. I'm like, what?
And they've been losing sleep over him.
Oh man. Yeah. So now they decided to go to court. And guess what? An industrial court has barred them from going on strike at Dangote Refinery. And this is just one of the reasons why many had said that they don't see the need for drivers to be under the umbrella of NUPENG, and why NUPENG is forcefully trying to ensure that all drivers come under the
NUPENG is arguing that they're fighting for drivers' welfare and their condition of service, and they want them to, to be properly treated. So what they're doing is a noble fight for the rights of Nigerian workers, which would include the Dangote CNG truck drivers. So they're trying to get them under the umbrella. What they're doing is very protective as far as they're concerned. So
I know.
Believe otherwise. And a lot of Nigerians do think otherwise, that they have ulterior motives and they want to reap where they did not sow.
I cannot for want of words, explain how NUPENG can be a 100% trusted umbrella or body. And I stand and I hold my ground any day, anytime, anywhere. I'm glad that the secretary did come here. And I say this, Kaduna Refinery, Comatose, Port Harcourt Refinery, all of these refineries were and are not working. Are you trying to say that the people who work in the downstream, who also work in these refineries, of which some of the drivers also come to ensure that they are your members? They're your members. Let's just sum it all up instead of trying to... let's just break it down to say they're your members. You've not fought for them. You've not fought why the refineries are not working. for those who have lost their jobs in the process, you have not called a strike or hold a press conference, but rather, when they were testing the refinery in Port Harcourt, you were there, you equally said, oh yes, you asserted, you mentioned that it's working, everything is looking very good,
part of the celebration.
And so on. Yes, in short, I even thought you were the celebrant at a certain point. But it's gone again, and trillions of naira have been poured and put into these refineries, and there's nothing. I was expecting that.
Of turnaround maintenance. Yeah.
Exactly. I was expecting that you would be one of the major bodies that will come out and say, come, we have to fight.
Absolutely.
People are losing their jobs.
The nail on the head, Joe, because you have a lot of your members that are working in these refineries, and they've been affected adversely one way or the other. So why are you not speaking up against that? A private man saw the need for Nigeria to be energy sufficient and independent and decided to, it's a gamble at the end of the day, put a lot of his money into establishing Dangote Refinery. He's gone through attacks from different organizations, different bodies, but against all odds, even sabotage from the NNPC at some point in time. Against all odds, he's been able to, meet our petroleum needs and even export for the first time in the history to the United States of America refined products. This is something we should be celebrating. And I do understand your condition about, this is the organized private sector. They have a way of taking care of their own, of drivers' welfare and all of that. But the way you're going about it and even threatening to go on industrial strike to affect the rest of us who are not even part of NUPENG or part of the Dangote group is, I think it's taking it too far. But again, they might want to argue, NUPENG, that the Kaduna Refinery and all those refineries you mentioned, is whether it works or not is, of course they are concerned about it, but their primary responsibility is the welfare of their members under their umbrella body. Yeah, petroleum and natural gas workers.
It's fine. They're concerned, but that's a different kettle of fish. Another angle we need to look at Gbenga is the fact that, one, Dangote is not the government. Okay?
Absolutely.
Two, I would rather they sit with him and have a gentleman conversation. Okay, fine.
They've done that.
Yes, you're looking for drivers. Yes, so they did that. The story was that, okay, eventually he's trying to ensure, we don't want to go back to all the stories, but what we just want to say is, listen, if you have any challenges, anyone, you don't need to ensure that you shut down the entire system because you feel that, oh no, we're aggrieved. This man is trying to monopolize the industry, like you've said. Oh, his CNG trucks are in, will not allow it. It's going to take people out of jobs. And like Dangote said in the press conference, is he going to be the one to drive the trucks?
Exactly.
And I like that statement. When I watched the press conference, I was laughing all through because I feel he was a comedian at that point because he tried to crack a joke out of reality and tell you guys, listen. In other words, he was saying you just need to think. Yes, he was saying you just need to think before you act. Think, and that's the truth. Am I going to drive? And he said, oh, you people are saying I'm going to take people out of jobs. All these trucks, who are going to drive them? There are people who are going to be employed, so they'll be gainfully employed. Exactly. You understand? It's not that he's going to employ Chinese or Westerners to come and drive the trucks. Then you have the right, and Nigerians will equally join you in that fight by saying, why would you give our jobs to non-indigents? Exactly. But then again, that's it. So let's see what Nigerians are saying about this industrial court that's definitely barred NUPENG from going on strike at the Dangote Refinery. And let's see what Nigerians are indeed reacting to. Hopefully, we'll get that up on the screen and see what they're saying now. Okay, while we try as much as possible to ensure that we can get that up on the screen to see what Nigerians are saying. Let's also tell you that you can be part of the show, by the way. You can also react. We want to say thank you to all those who have joined us on YouTube. So please feel free. Let us know what you think, most importantly, about the stories that we'll be bringing to you today. I'll also be reading some of your comments. So that's another thing we're going to do here on Breakfast Central. So please feel free. Let us know what you think about the Dangote and the industrial court that's barred NUPENG from definitely going on strike. Very quickly, Another one that we want to go into is the next story. Our next story has got to do with Gbenga.
EFCC. It's in the news, EFCC blaming Yahoo boys for tough visa rules on Nigerians. And I mean, it depends on how you look at it. A lot of Nigerians, especially on social media, are taking this with a pinch of salt. And they're saying, no, it's not Yahoo boys. That Yahoo boys make a minuscule, they're minor when you look at the greater picture, the bigger picture of things, that actually that blame should go to the doorstep of the politicians, because they're the ones that make policies, and they're the ones that are always in the news for all sorts of graft and corrupt practices. So it's not that the EFCC is wrong on this. That's the majority of the opinions we have on social media, but we'll get to it. But let's take this statement from the EFCC speaking on the tough visa rules on Nigerians. The EFCC
Executive Chairman there, of the Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Olukoyede, has called on youth in the South-South region to resist the lure of internet fraud and other financial crimes, describing fraud as a deadly trap that destroys lives in the future. He says he gave the charge apparently in Port Harcourt, Rivers State on Monday, September 15, 2025, at an event organized by the Coalition of Nigerian Youth on Security and Safety Affairs, otherwise known as CONISA. Speaking on the theme, United South-South Youths in the fight, there goes your South-South again. United South-South Youths in the fight against cultism, pipeline vandalism, internet fraud, money laundering, drug abuse, human trafficking, and economic sabotage. Olukoyede, who spoke through Head Advanced Fee Fraud Section, Port Harcourt Zonal Directorate of the EFCC, Chief Superintendent of the EFCC, and the likes, warned that while fraud may appear to offer easy money, it ultimately leads to shame, imprisonment, and lost opportunities. That's what he said. And then he went ahead to highlight a very key reason, which is what, while we're talking, he said, fraud is not success, it's a trap, easy come, easy go. Many who follow the path of Yahoo always end up losing their freedom, reputation, and future. The law is catching up with them, and digital footprints never disappear. Don't destroy your tomorrow with shortcuts today, he said. And if you go down, one of the things he said was that he also reminded the audience that Nigeria's strength lies in its young population. Youths are the engine of the society. He also mentioned that, and then talked about drug abuse, talked about this, and then said because of all of these things, traveling would be hard, getting visas, and so on and so forth. But that's just a summation of the long statements that was made.
Yeah, I mean, he made very salient points, and Yahoo is not something noble that you should engage in. It's actually theft, and like he said, you end up wasting, missing opportunities. You go to jail, have reputational problems. It shouldn't be celebrated in any form or where. We've seen in times past Nigerian music celebrating these fraudsters, because that's what they are at the end of the day. But kudos to the EFCC chairman for sensitizing the youth on the ills of society and the dangers of drug abuse and Yahoo and all of that. And regardless of whether we like it or not, it does, maybe it's minuscule, but it does have it plays a role in top visa regimes for Nigerians, because they profile us, they think you're Nigerian youth, so you are susceptible to engaging in cybercrime and things like that. So we need a collective effort to stop this demon called Yahoo. We also need the government to provide viable and legal alternatives for youths to channel their creative spirit and mind into, tech and doing ethical things instead of, fraud.
When you said tech, I wanted to say, we also want to be careful and make sure that we define ethical tech really is. Because some of these internet fraudsters are hiding under the tech space. Facts, and I'm sure the guys in tech would agree with this, because many of them would come and tell you, oh, you know what, I'm into tech, I do tech, I do this, I do that. But underlying fact is that something underneath.
It's technological.
It's technology.
Technological fraud.
Exactly. So there's TF, which is technological fraud, and there's just plain fraud, outright fraud. So I agree with you. Ensuring that we have the youths who make up a huge amount of Nigeria's populace, they should be taken care of. And the truth is, I also see it as a means of ensuring that if the current administration focuses on creating jobs like they said they will, then it will, one way or the other, take away the youths from these negative influences or engaging in fraud, whether you like it or not. But let's see what Nigerians are saying, how they're reacting to the statement made by the EFCC boss. Oyekachi Neto says, "Don't say what you don't know here, please. I am not into fraud. We blacks still they learn." Okay, pidgin. We blacks still they learn where white do when it comes to fraud. Fraud now white getter. The rigging your government do today. Oh. Okay. That's what you say. Oh, Chim. Ejere says, "You think the corrupt politicians are not also to be blamed for this?" I was going to come here, but let's read first. These countries have the data of corruption and irregularities in the country. If the government fixes the country, the Yahoo boys will be off the streets with better jobs that pay. I agree with you, 100%.
Has a point.
Let's also be, we're going to come back.
Creed Edwards says, "As much as I don't support fraud, this is not true. The reasons are visa overstay, security concerns, and reciprocity policies. You can't go to the US and do fraud. You will be caught easily." He also has, the factors he listed.
Visa overstay, security, and so on, Pinning visa restrictions solely on Yahoo boys is misleading. The real issues is government credibility, weak systems, and corruption at the top. If our leaders fix those, no country would judge all Nigerians by a few fraudsters. And is that all we're taking? Let's see. Do we have one more? Country they spoiled and they blame Yahoo boys. Lionel Andres Messi Kusitini.
I can't believe Messi is commenting on issues in Nigeria. I thought we should be busy with Inter Miami and football.
I'm telling you. Anyway, we've highlighted the Yahoo boys, aspect of it. But let's also flip the script a bit. Let's be honest. Are Nigerian politicians also putting the country in a good light?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So I was also expecting the EFCC boss, although of course it's an event for the youth to talk to them, that's fine. But let's come back home and look at it. They always say if the head is rotten, we know what happens to the rest of the body. So if those at the top,
the pilots, or the ones that are driving policy,
Gbenga, let's not even go as far as what we as journalists face when we have to sit here, read the stories, ingest it, digest it, and so that we're able to pass it out. Sometimes, I remember at a certain point, you keep asking yourself, wait, what's really going on?
You are marveled or something.
I remember 15 years ago, whenever monies or government funds were taken or stolen, you would hear they were stolen in millions. It now got up to billions. And now what are we talking about? Trillions. And very soon we might hit zillions. So these are not Yahoo boys. And let's not also forget, I'm going to pin this out my final statement on this story. Lead by example. So if those at the top are showing the example that they can steal, let's call it what it is. Let's not mince words, guys. They can steal. They can take. The young boy will be aspiring to be like that too. Oh, so they took money and nothing. And there's this new situation, this new understanding that the bigger you steal, the earlier you're left off the hook.
Yes.
Because you would have to forfeit just a percentage so that you can be. Let's be honest. We're journalists. We see these stories, we read them. And some of these, in quotes, politicians who have taken have not faced, they've not faced
they see how the court cases drag,
they let them go at the end of the
day. They get a pardon or they come up with some flimsy medical excuse.
So let's fix home first. If we fix home, I'm sure.
And let's distribute the blame equally.
Yeah.
Like one of the tweets said, that you're being economical with the truth when you just put it at the door of Yahoo boys only. It's more
who make up a few.
Yes. But let's move to our third wake-up story, yes. The federal government disperses 330 billion naira to 8.5 million poor households, says the coordinating minister of the economy, Mr. Wale Edun, as part of the social safety net to cushion the most vulnerable Nigerians from the effects of the harsh economy and the subsidy removal. So 8.5 million, that's a huge number, and 330 billion. And this, of course, has elicited lots of reactions across Nigerian society. People questioning the government's position and statement, saying, who are these 8.5 million households? You know, there's a huge trust deficit between the government and the people.
They said the Finance Minister Wale Edun, speaking in Abuja, let me just run through the story briefly, said the initiative resumed after earlier delays caused by integrating biometric data with national identity number, which is NIN. And he goes ahead to say this. Let me read it out. He says, he noted that 8.5 million of the targeted 15 million households have received at least one tranche of the 25,000 naira monthly payment, with some getting up to 3. Each is expected to receive 3 tranches, while the remaining 7 million households will be paid before year end. This safety net to help people cope with rising prices is now firmly back on track, Edun said, adding that it lays the foundation for a modern social protection system promised by President Tinubu. My question, please, if you're watching Breakfast Central, which I believe you are, and you know somebody that has received this money, please kindly drop a comment, either on our YouTube page, if you find us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, please drop a comment. I don't understand what's going on. This issue had been raised especially by well-meaning Nigerians who had mentioned that this social safety security net, or what this process is called, we don't believe in it. We don't trust it because we're not seeing proof of people who have received these monies. Who are they? And where is this money coming from? How is it going? How are you sure that there's proof, there's transparency that people have received?
Then people also question if giving them cash is the most effective way of dealing with
giving people 25,000 naira monthly. Why are we doing that?
It's not even monthly. It's maybe quarterly. Yeah.
Let's see what Nigerians are saying. I don't know if we have reactions to this story, but if we don't, we can definitely check them online. Let me see. I will just go online, because it's quite shocking how 330 billion naira has been disbursed to 8.5 million poor. How do you even determine who is poor?
The most vulnerable, the ones in the hinterland. And maybe that's why we haven't heard about it in
most vulnerable
urban areas. The poorest.
These vulnerable, don't they have phone?
The poorest of the poor.
Don't they have
I don't think they don't.
Okay, they don't.
They're the ones in the village and the ones that are just living from hand to mouth. And then the National Social Register has captured them, and Mr. Edun said, while they were doing the biometrics and all of that to ensure
that they have their biometric data
really gets to
those the village now.
Who, I mean, the National Safety Register people will go to them.
Okay, they will go.
They have their ways of identifying.
Okay, NIN, but they don't have phone. So how do they get the money?
I mean, that's why we're journalists. You're supposed to go there and follow every single step of it to tell the story. And the government, knowing that Nigerians have serious trust deficits, should do a checklist of how they've identified, because these are taxpayers' money at the end of the day. It's 330 billion naira is no small amount. But you know the type of people you govern. You understand the kind of environment which you govern. You would expect them, their media unit, to do a comprehensive, I mean, it doesn't have to. You could even use infographics. Okay, this is the first step. This is what we do to identify those who are in dire need of government intervention. And then we register their NIN, we get biometrics, we disburse at this, and these are the intervals at which we do it. We also need to see data on the geographical spread of the Nigerians that you've identified as the most vulnerable and in need of social safety interventions. When you do this, you assuage the fears of Nigerians. But when you don't, you leave room for speculations and the usual talk of this is corruption, they've chopped the money, and all of that. Because I mean, it means somebody is not doing their job, or you have the head and members of this unit to go around media houses to do media tours and enlighten Nigerians. You also collaborate with the National Orientation Agency to highlight some of these things. You just don't come up with a figure and say you've done this and you expect Nigerians to believe you, or journalists. I mean, there will be pushback. That's our job. We ask questions for leaving, so there's accountability and also transparency. Any luck with what Nigerians are saying on this issue? I mean, you don't even have to guess where the direction of the conversation will go. It's really obvious. We have a serious trust deficit between the governed and the rulers in the country, our leaders, because of lack of transparency, lack of communication, lack of cohesive strategy in communicating government policies to the ordinary people. And when you don't do a proper job at it, like I said earlier, you leave room for speculations, rumors, and all sorts of talk. So the ball is in the court of the Federal Ministry of Finance and the National Social Safety Net organization to do a better job at communication.
Thank you, Gbenga. I think you've spoken well, in as much as we try to see how we can have some form of believability in this and just believe that it's actually done. I'm sure we're also echoing the sentiments of every Nigerian who's out there. And let's not forget, let's not get it twisted. People who have received these funds are humans, like they say. They live in the country. They don't live outside the country. It's only expected that they will come out in their droves. And I'm not talking about one person doing a video and say, yes, government gave me the money, I've received it. There should be, we live in a social media age. And I will tell you what I mean. Let me give you an example. If I, you, and maybe 2 other persons in this office were to receive a government grant that we've been waiting for so much, I can bet you that if we are 7 who received it here, 3 persons would do a video.
But we don't.
Thank you. I got this.
We don't.
Or somebody would say, oh, I also got this from the government too.
But in fairness, we don't, and our network don't fit those in this demographic. It's the poorest of the poor that can't even afford a telephone.
Can I come?
And there are millions of Nigerians like that. I know it might be shocking to you that.
Can I explain again that I just talked about social media? Okay, let's drop the social media. What happened to documentation? Video proof.
Okay, good. And these are some of the issues that
are documentaries you could put together. Mm-hmm. You put it, it's not hard. I mean, I'm a producer, you're a producer, we could put in documentaries together. Well, we disbursed over 300 billion. There's a documentary that has about 7 episodes showing the processes, showing how we went into the states, the areas, be it whether it's a interland, call it whatever you call it. And we meet these people, we show how we give. If you have social media influencers on social media who go as far as gifting people things, and everybody's commenting, oh my God, you made me cry today. Oh, look at the way you gave, you gifted that lady a house and a car. These guys are documenting it. Why? Guess what? Because they have people who are contributing to the goodwill. And they have companies that are sponsoring them and say, listen, we want to give 4 people who live on the street.
I mean, under the Buhari administration, I'm not sure if they still give cash, but under the Buhari administration, I can remember watching NTA, and they have a program that highlights, because sometimes you have some of these government agencies, even in partnership with private media houses, they have programs that highlight the activities, like NDDC, for example, NEMASA, and other government organizations. I can recall under the Buhari administration, they had something similar with regards to social safety net and conditional cash transfers. And I could see them go to a village in the east. They were disbursing this cash to individuals. That was the Buhari administration. I really don't know what's going on here, but we'll do deeper research and, of course, I will get back to you with our findings during the course of the week. Tomorrow, yes.
Anyway,
because 330 billion is
you know that there are schools that are schools. Students don't have way to learn, to sit down to read. Do you know what 330 billion will do to schools?
Yeah. So I don't want to believe that.
Do you know what
this money hasn't been disbursed?
Will do to farmers? Imagine if you had what is it? People can't eat. Food is expensive. With 330 billion, I dare say, and if you talk to the guys who handle these things, they'll tell you there are technologies that could be put in place to protect the lives of farmers while they're farming with that amount. But then again, let's leave what it is. Let's bring to you our top stories for today here on Breakfast Central as we're ready to go in full swing. Today on Breakfast Central on News Central, President Tinubu lifts state of emergency in Rivers State. We will be touching on that. Hence the reason why we didn't talk about it on Wake Up. Governor Siminalayi Fubara to resume office today. Yes, Rivers people, they're pretty much excited, I want to believe. Federal government holds 4% FOB customs charge. We do have an inner detail on that as well. And then we have new agric incentives, something fresh that you should know about. Do us a favor, join us when we open the phone lines for the newspaper front pages as well at 9 a.m. All of these and more on Breakfast Central.